It's John and Venezia with RotoWire. We're talking 5-player props you need to be on in Week 8 of the NFL. Let's roll. First up, let's go with Bijan Robinson over 88.5 rush yards. Oh, baby. I think Bijan's going to have a biggie. He might have 200 total yards in this one. I can easily see a $125, maybe a $130. Bijan Robinson did not get as much involvement in the loss to San Francisco last week as he should have, mainly later on in the game when Atlanta was trailing. But I think in this matchup, he's going to eat, man. This is going to be a huge game for Bijan Robinson. 88.5 is a high number, but I think it's still a little light. Miami is the absolute worst defense against the run. They've given up the most yards to running backs this year. Atlanta in a bounce back spot after a tough loss at San Francisco last week. They come back home and they are playing not only a bad defense, but they're favored by 7.5 points, which tells us they should be playing with a lead. I just don't know who's going to stop Bijan Robinson. I mean, it's probably going to be every over for me this week with Bijan. I think this is probably going to be a number that gets steamed up throughout the weekend before kickoff. So there's 88.5s out there. I've seen some 90.5s. Could ultimately see this one be closer to like 94.5 before 1 o'clock on Sunday. I'm all in on Bijan Robinson this week. I think he's going absolutely nuts. Next up, let's go with George Kittle, National Tight End Day. I know a lot of you have followed this trend over the last few years. You're going to be cooking up a lot of tutty parlays with tight ends, a lot of tight end props, but you can't not put George Kittle in there. He is literally the founder of National Tight End Day. He was a dud in his first game back off the injury against Atlanta on Sunday night. Literally put up a goose, like a big fat goose. A lot of people bet him. I was on there with George Kittle. Let me tell you something. It is so set up for George Kittle this weekend to come back, have a monster day, put up at least a touchdown, maybe 2. You're getting him at plus 210. I think Kittle is going to have a monster day, potentially a 100 piece, 2 tutty, that kind of game, like vintage George Kittle. Houston's defense really ranks well against tight ends, but we saw it last week. I took JSN over 6.5 catches against this Houston defense because I'm saying my guy's better than yours, even though the matchup doesn't indicate it. Strange game script could be brewing. It's weird because Houston's actually a home favorite off their loss, especially with the fact they might not have Nico Collins this week. 49ers are a dog at Houston. A little strange here, but I think Kittle's going to be fed, man. I just think ultimately this Houston defense, while it is really good, and yes, they should be looking for a bounce back, San Francisco is going to get creative with their play calling, and there's going to be a couple busted coverages that leave Kittle running right down the field. Anytime you're getting one of the best tight ends in modern NFL, north of 2-1 to score, especially on National Tight End Day, you know I'm firing on all cylinders for that one. Let's keep it rolling here. Emeka, Egbuka, one of the higher receiving totals of the week at 75.5. Again, this is why it's important to be shopping around. Our prop picker tool is a behemoth. It's giving you multiple different books in one spot so you can compare in real time the yardage and the price difference. So the best number currently is Egbuka 75.5. This is a big bounce back spot for Tampa. They got beat pretty bad against the Detroit Lions. The final score, the game should have been closer, pending a couple bad flags, but eye test, the Lions really handed it to them. Mike Evans is out for most likely the duration of the regular season. Maybe he comes back a few games left, but regardless, it's the Emeka Egbuka show. Chris Godwin should be back this week, but I think this guy is going to have a big one at New Orleans. I think Tampa's going to come out hair on fire, ready to put New Orleans down bad, put up a 40 bean in this one here. I think Egbuka is going to have a monster day. New Orleans secondary has been solid, but they're absolutely beatable. This is a spot where I could see Egbuka have multiple 30-yard catches, longest reception props definitely live, but I feel like Egbuka is going to have a 100 piece in this one. The fact that Chris Godwin is back means you can't double team Egbuka here because Godwin can still get you. So I like him to have a big day here. 75.5 receiving yards, potentially a 100 piece. So let's go with the rookie to get back on track. If you enjoy these videos, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button because right now RotoWire is giving you 15% off of any product, RotoWire.com. That includes our fantasy football rankings, updated weekly. You heard me talk about this monster prop picker tool that we have for fantasy betting and DFS. This thing is the real deal. All the big dogs are using this. You want to win, you're going to be using this prop picker tool because you know what, baby? Big dogs got to eat. And of course, you're going to get access to our experts for those difficult Sunday morning start-sit decisions. Use code YouTube15 at checkout. Keep it rolling here. We got Aaron Rodgers, little revenge game. 1.5 pass touchdowns. Let's go with the over there. He's got multiple scores in 4 of 6 games this season. The Green Bay defense really hasn't been to the level that a lot of us thought they would be. They've had some of these moments where we wonder, what were they doing in the offseason? Were they, just going on early vacations to Cancun or late vacations? Were they skipping practice? It's quite puzzling to say the least. But I think Aaron Rodgers here is going to be amped up for this one. And especially the fact is the Green Bay secondary doesn't scare me. I think DK Metcalf's going to have some good one-on-one matchups. I feel like the tight ends are going to get involved here. Maybe Jaylen Warren out of the backfield. So Aaron Rodgers to get 2 pass touchdowns is a pretty good deal here. So let's keep it rolling with the multiple-time MVP. Last but not least, Rashee Rice was a big-time hit last week in his first game of the season. Multiple scores, a lot of catches. Yards weren't as high. The game was a blowout. Could be the similar case on Monday night here. The Chiefs open as a 10.5 point favorite, and they're climbing nowhere but north. So this could be another situation where the Chiefs starters get pulled in the fourth quarter, especially no Jaden Daniels this week. It's going to be Marcus Mariota. I like Rashee Rice over 5.5 catches. Everywhere else, there's 6.5 catches, and it's heavily juiced to the under. But MGM has 5.5 at the moment. It's juiced to the over at -150, but I like it. I think Rashee Rice in this offense is going to be getting a lot of those short, quick grabs, try and make something happen in space. The yards could happen, but I think 6 catches is the better route to go here because you know how Patrick Mahomes likes to get these quick little throws at the line of scrimmage, so that could bode well for Rashee Rice, who's going to be slotting in as the number 1 target for Kansas City going forward. I think Rashee Rice is in line for another strong game here.